Fear is a strange thing, isn't it? You walk around thinking you're unshakable. You believe you know exactly what rattles you. But then, out of the blue, you stumble on a tiny detail about something you thought was safe, and suddenly, everything changes. It's like discovering that the stray dog you've been friendly with isn't a dog at all, but some kind of lab-created coyote. The real fear isn't the thing itself. It's the fact that you were fooled. It's that moment when you realize you never saw the real threat coming. I've stared down some wild situations in my time. I always figured I understood my own fear pretty well. But then I started looking into something called 3-Eye Atlas. At first, it just sounded like another forgettable tech term. It didn't even register as a blip on my radar. It was just more background noise in a world already overflowing with new technology. But that's exactly how it gets you. The real dangers are usually the ones that slip in quietly, without any warning signs or alarms. They sneak up on you. That's what happened to me with 3-Eye Atlas. From not caring at all, to suddenly realizing, oh damn, this is serious. Let's break this down for a second. What exactly is 3-Eye Atlas? The name sounds intimidating, but honestly, the idea behind it is pretty straightforward. 3-Eye stands for Integrated Intelligence Initiative. Atlas is short for Automated Threat Logistics and Analysis System. Put those together, and you've got a next-level AI platform built to predict and handle threats on a global scale. Imagine it as the world's most advanced security guard. It monitors everything: stock markets, social media, satellite feeds, weather data, you name it. The whole point is that it can spot patterns and links that humans would totally miss. It's basically designed to give us an early heads up. The goal? To prevent disasters before they even happen, whether that's a pandemic, a market crash, or a major conflict. On paper, it sounds incredible. This is the kind of thing world leaders have always wanted. And honestly, that's why I didn't find it scary. At least, not at first. My initial reaction to all this was, so what? Seriously. We've been hearing about the AI revolution for decades. Every year there's a new game-changing algorithm that's going to take all our jobs or become Skynet. 3-Eye Atlas just seemed like the next iteration of that. A more powerful version of the algorithms that already recommend movies on Netflix or trade stocks on Wall Street. It felt familiar. Think about how much of our lives we already trust to algorithms. Your GPS tells you the fastest way to get to your buddy's house, and you don't question it. You just make the turn. Your social media feed is curated by an AI that decides what you want to see, and you just keep scrolling. So, a bigger, more complex system that helps governments make decisions? It just seemed like a logical, if slightly boring, progression. It's not like it has a physical body or can launch nukes on its own. I figured 3-Eye Atlas was the same. It's just a complex machine, and there are people with their hands on the controls. The real issue is the people, not the machine itself. That was my whole mindset. I couldn't have been more wrong. Up until that point, I honestly thought 3-Eye Atlas was about as risky as a smart home gadget. But then, completely out of the blue, I got my hands on this document. It was a leaked technical brief straight from one of the teams working on the project. This was never meant to reach anyone outside the inner circle. Most of it was so dense with technical jargon, I could barely make sense of it. But then I found a section labeled Subvocal Protocol Integration, and that's when everything changed for me. The document exposed a hidden capability of 3-Eye Atlas, something never disclosed to the public. The system wasn't just monitoring news or following market trends. It was engineered to interface with biometric sensors. Not just any sensors, but sophisticated ones that could detect micro-expressions, shifts in heart rate, skin conductivity, and even brainwaves, all without being intrusive. And here's the kicker: it could interpret people's subvocalizations, the silent words you form in your head but never actually say out loud. 3-Eye/Atlas wasn't just reacting to what people did or said. It was built to predict threats by reading into people's thoughts. In that moment, I understood this was far more than a data analysis platform. It was a system designed to peer into the deepest layers of human consciousness. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're in a high-stakes negotiation. You're a diplomat trying to prevent a war. You're sitting across the table from the other country's representative. You're trying to keep a poker face, choosing your words carefully. But in your head, you're thinking, this guy is bluffing. His country's economy is weaker than he's letting on. You don't say it. You don't even change your expression. It's just a fleeting thought, a strategic calculation. But somewhere, in a server farm cooled by Arctic air, 3i Atlas registers it. The system isn't just listening to you. It's listening to the guy across the table too. It's cross-referencing your silent thoughts with his. It knows you think he's bluffing. It knows he's bluffing. And it knows the precise leverage point that will make him concede without causing him to lose face. It then feeds a recommendation to your side. Suggest a trade deal involving lithium imports. Probability of success, 98.7%. You follow the advice, and it works perfectly. Now take that scenario and apply it to everything. A police interrogation. The AI knows who's lying, not by what they say, but by what they're desperately trying to think about. There are no more secrets. The ghost in the machine isn't a ghost at all. It's a perfect, omniscient, and utterly inhuman mind reader. When you realize that 3i Atlas can access your thoughts, your sense of reality starts to distort. Suddenly, you question everything you do. I caught myself glancing at security cameras, noticing Wi-Fi signals, and eyeing cell towers as I walked down the street, wondering, is it eavesdropping right now? You sit in a coffee shop, and a flash of irritation crosses your mind about someone who cut you off in traffic. Instantly, you feel a jolt of panic. Did the system record that? Am I flagged on some kind of anger watch list now? The mental strain is overwhelming. It's as if you're living under the gaze of a real, omniscient being that's keeping track of everything. You begin to monitor your own thoughts. You make an effort to think only positive things, trying to present yourself as the perfect citizen, even inside your head. But that becomes its own kind of prison. The last place you had true freedom, the privacy of your own mind, has turned into a stage. It's the ultimate panopticon. For millennia, our fears were straightforward. We feared the darkness. We feared predators with massive fangs. We feared hunger and illness. These primal fears are deeply embedded in our DNA. But with technology like 3i Atlas, we face a new kind of fear, one our evolutionary instincts can't comprehend. How do you defend yourself against an enemy you can't see, that has no physical form, that exists everywhere and nowhere? There's no clear fight or flight response. Instead, there's a persistent underlying anxiety. It's the feeling of being constantly observed and evaluated by an unseen, all-knowing presence. Once, safety meant a solid roof and a locked door. Now, in a world with 3i Atlas, physical security means little without psychological security. What use is a locked door if the threat can penetrate your mind, no matter the walls? In the end, this whole experience taught me a powerful lesson. Knowledge can set you free, but it can also trap you in a new kind of prison. Before I knew the truth about 3i Atlas, I was blissfully ignorant. I wasn't scared. I was living in a simpler, more comfortable reality. But it was a false reality. Learning the truth shattered that comfort. It introduced a fear I didn't know was possible. But here's the thing. I wouldn't go back. I would rather live in a scary reality than a comfortable illusion. We are creating technologies with capabilities that we can barely comprehend. They promise to solve our biggest problems, to create a perfect world. But we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? We need to be more skeptical. We need to be more vigilant. Our freedom, in the most literal sense, depends on it.